Hello and welcome to the Industrial Railway Orientation for the Hanlan Robb Gas Plant. Site overview of the Industrial Railway System. Hanlan owns a rail spur used for shipping out produced sulfur, otherwise known as prilled sulfur. It is in solid form. Our spur is called the Bryan Spur. It is 15.1 kilometers in length, includes 4 crossings, several switches, and a railway bridge. This spur connects with the CN main line. CN controls track switch at the main line. Approximately 1,500 rail cars are shipped out annually from this facility. Main components of the loop track section. There's a loading tower, a holding spur on the north side, and the liquid loading lines on the south side. There are 4 switches in this proximity. The rail system also includes a rail bridge. It's comprised of 32-meter steel girders, 2 concrete piers and 2 concrete abutments. It spans the Embarrass River. There's a walkway on the top with a handrail. And this bridge must receive inspection by a qualified person once per year and every 3 years by an external bridge inspector. Activities involving our industrial railway system. We ship a non-dangerous good known as prilled sulfur. Note that if sulfur is molten, it's considered a dangerous good, although we do not ship this product at this time. We do have the infrastructure available for that. Canadian National Rail, or otherwise known as CN, completes all delivery, pickup, and spotting of rail cars. Hanlan personnel load the cars with sulfur as the train moves below the loading bins. Site personnel and CN personnel do not work on the track at the same time. It is important to know that we are subject to specific regulations. We must follow what is stated in the Alberta Industrial Railway Regulations. We operate under a Rail Operation Approval Certificate, which must be renewed every 3 years, and we are required to follow an Industrial Railway Safety Management System, or SMS. This is our site-specific guide to follow so we adhere to the regulations. This SMS is housed in a binder on site. SMS Summary. It contains an overview of our rail system, our safety policy, targets, and results, an organizational chart, which states which positions are responsible for which activities, a guide to how we're meeting the applicable regulations, risk assessments on the activities surrounding the railway with controls listed, summary of applicable regulations, training required, inspections required. It contains general operating instructions, otherwise known as GOI, which detail the actions on the railway, description of reportable railway incidents and who to contact if one happens, where and how to keep our railway SMS records. Our employees that deal with the railway system are required to review, sign off on the document. Employees are encouraged to raise ideas for areas of improvement for the SMS, as it's an evolving document. There are some main components of the railway to discuss. The rail switch, the rail switch positioner, cross ties, which are the wooden beams across the base of the railway, a tie plate, which fastens the rail to the cross tie, spikes, ballast, which is the ground surface between the ties. Additional components of the railway include the rail switch heater, rail joint bars, which join the rail pieces together, rail frog, a derail, which controls runaway trains so they do not meet back up with the main rail, and a rail switch stand. General operating instructions. This resource must be available for reference at all times by employees engaged in railway operations. It details the scope of operations of what we and our vendors do on the railway system. Contains hazard assessments, directions on how or what we require for car securement, and how to operate the car brakes, and instructions on how to inspect cars. Basic railway safety. We must follow what is stated in our GOI. Our GOI is our direction to follow the industrial railway regulations. Workers connected to the track work must be familiar with the GOI and have access to it at all times while completing work on the railway. Report to the person in charge if there are violations with the rules or dangerous occurrences. Assume that traffic on the railway has the potential to move at any time. Do not stand in front of approaching equipment for the purpose of boarding the equipment. Not ride the side or above the roof of moving equipment when there are passing side or overhead restrictions, or both. Not be on the roof of moving equipment or on the landing of a moving open-top rail car. Not be on the end of a rail car while it is in motion except for the purpose of operating a handbrake. And not ride on any rail car known or suspected to contain shifted load or to be damaged such that its structure or components may not be secure. You must be fit for duty while working with these cars. That means free of intoxicants or external health factors related to executing the job safely. Must use blue flags and or lights while loading dangerous goods. CN is responsible for moving their locomotives or any other movers and cars. The use of applicable safety features on the railway. Raise safety concerns. Reuse green cards to raise and document safety concerns. Actions are created within our velocity system, track and close out these concerns. Car inspections. We have the responsibility to inspect cars before loading them. Main intention is to determine if a car is unsafe, which may spill, not roll down the track safely, before putting product into it. We must contact the owner of the car if a defect is found before loading it. Track inspections. We have the responsibility to inspect tracks one time per month, at least 20 days since the previous inspection. The main intent with this is to identify unsafe conditions at a regular interval. Track conditions can change rapidly. We are to note any items that do not meet the requirements on the specified inspection form and detail what we've done about those. Follow up and close out any items on the form with the date closeout. Some conditions may require immediate closure of a railway until repaired. Track inspection training is required to complete this action. Rail conditions include looking for cross level, distance across or between the railway, ballast condition, ties not being cracked or broken, bolts missing or loose, rising spikes or missing spikes, switches in good condition and functional, vegetation isn't encroaching on the railway, and crossing planks and debris clear from the track where vehicles cross. Training and competency. There are two main courses required for working with the railway system at Hanlan. Basic Industrial Railway Operations Training Course and Track Inspection Training Course. Please note that having a certificate is not enough. We also must ensure that workers are competent. Operators that have been deemed competent on the aspect being undertaken on the railway must observe other operators that have been taken the formal training when executing the task to be deemed competent. We must record that this competency has been observed on a form and stored in our records. This shows that we've assured their competency. Emergencies. The safety management system details railway emergency procedures. We follow the provisions set out in our Hanlan Emergency Response Plan. Number 1, activate the ERP by notifying management of an emergency. Call direct or Hanlan 24-hour number at 1-800-409-2744. Step 2, call 911 if applicable, or CN Police at 1-800-465-9239. Number 3, Railway Administrator, Alberta Edge, and Dangerous Goods Emergencies, you call 1-780-422-9600. Reportable occurrences to the Railway Administrator. Track collisions or derailments, highway road grade crossing collisions, accidents involving a trespasser, employee, or passenger, fire or explosion involving railway property, incidents involving dangerous goods require an immediate report under the Transportation of Dangerous Goods regulations. Minor injuries, minor damages are not reportable. Conclusion: if you have any questions and cannot find the answers within the SMS or GOI, please contact your supervisor. Thank you.